motorcyclehunters.com. Today we are looking at a 2022 Kawasaki KLR650. All right, for all of you who don't know about the KLRs, you must have been living under a rock for the last 34 years, because this bike first debuted, the first iteration was in 1987. And from then, you can see through the years that these things haven't changed a whole lot. They have changed, obviously, into some degrees. You know, fuel injection. This has digital fuel injection. The chassis is a little bit more stiff now, so that doesn't feel like it's running in grooves. You can actually make lane changes a little quicker. Things are a little bit more lively with the chassis. But, you know, these adventure touring style, more focused to dirt than anything really, have been coming up in the past several years, where you know, BMW had sort of been one of the leaders, pretty much still are, but a lot of different companies had sort of jumped on those heels and had been making these adventure tours, these dirt bikes slash dual sports. I mean, you can really kind of say this is a beefed up dirt bike that you can use on the road. Because again, now when you're looking at these tires, this is what I call like a street knobby. They're not as thick as a regular knobby tire, and they're not going to move as much on pavement, but they still can grip when you're out on dirt, fire roads, anything that has loose gravel. Those are really where these tires would pretty much shine. Now this bike has ABS, and everything as far as the ABS on these bikes, it's very unintrusive. You almost don't even know it's happening. It's that seamless. These have gotten to the point where they're in such high demand. You know, people through the years have been sort of, you know, doing their own things to these bikes, and the manufacturers sort of take notice, much like they did on Honda Goldwings. And through the years, the bikes have sort of changed due to customers' needs and wants. So this being a 22, you know, you can pretty much see one of the latest things. Now, there are complaints about the rubber foot pegs, because most guys don't want that in the dirt. But again, you have to sort of remember, this is a street slash dirt bike. So, you know, you're kind of splitting hairs on something like that. You could get other ones if you wanted to. But, you know, for the most part, these are, again, focused a little bit more for dirt. 6.1 gallon tank. The seat is 34.3 inches. Again, I mentioned the ABS brakes. The weight of the machine is about 456 dry, 483 wet. These are very configurable, as you can see right there. You could get your trunk for the rear. You could fit the panniers on here. These bikes are highly configurable for that. They're very, very utility based. This is a really clean model, in really nice shape, not much for blemishes, in really, really nice shape. This offers really good wind protection as well with the front and the way that this works. And you guys know, when you're on the highway and you're sitting upright on something like this, you really want that wind to go over top, and you don't want to be buffeted all over the place. And something like that is going to help you in those situations, and you don't feel like a big sail. Again, really nice shape, good looking bike. The color, I don't know what you would call that. It's like a sandy, it's like a desert sand with a tint of like OD, like olive drab maybe. Just like a little bit of a hint of that. You can see the ABS for that. You know, liquid cooled. It's a great modern bike. Nice bark busters on there. Keep your hands free from any branches, and especially the wind. It keeps it nice and protected. Now, with the dash, it is a digital dash readout. Let's see here. Flip it on. Now this bike, it has 459 miles. So this has really not been ridden much at all. You have your speedometer centrally located, digital readout. You have your clock and your fuel gauge to the left. You have to the right, I believe this is going to be a gear selector right in there. Usually that's what that is. Now it doesn't say it, but a lot of times that's very typical. This also has the ABS light there that will go out once you get going. Simple stuff. Your turn signal indicators up top there, nice and easily read. Your high beam, low beam, and your check engine. Then obviously any of this stuff, you can reset your trips and toggle all that where it's necessary. So, nope, that isn't a gear indicator. So this does not have it. I kind of thought that would be one, but does not look like it. Again, pretty much a basic layout. Your tank, your bars, ignition, your dash. On your controls, your high beam, low beam, indicators, and your horn. Right side, basic stuff, on off switch, and your starter. You have your high mount mirrors, and again, you can kind of get the idea here for the windscreen. It's very nice and high so that you can keep behind it and you don't get as tired when you're riding, that's for sure. So let's see here. We're going to get into this, and this is going to be left front, be right front, and this will be right rear, and we'll go left rear. That, and this is going to be foot brake, then hand brake. Looks like the headlight's on, so we may be able to even just see the high beam, low beam without having to turn it on. So this is low, and there's your high. Low beam, high beam. All right. So now this is all stock, so it's not going to be loud and obnoxious. These style bikes, you don't tend to want them to be, because if you're ripping around in the woods and fire trails, you're generally looking to enjoy your ride. And, you know, obviously you can get pipes for these things and make them loud if you want, but let's see what this one sounds like just as stock. Well, it sounds like a regular 650cc thumper, single cylinder. And that's a cold start. Very similar sound to, you know, the quads or any of that single cylinder stuff. So fires right up, really strong motor, they pull really well. Oh, you can feel it. That's a torquey motor. You can definitely feel that. But this is probably really nice when you're riding through the woods. It's not too loud, so you're not going to disturb a whole lot. And you might even get to see some wildlife. You know, this is kind of what these are leading towards, where you're going out, put your camping gear on it maybe, and find some nice place to go ride in the woods and just tool around and have fun. That's a lot of what these bikes are geared toward. And maybe if it's just a matter where you like sitting in an upright position, a little bit more comfortable with your elbows out, you always had the dirt bike feel. You know, this is a great bike for everyday commuting use, any of that stuff. You know, the only thing, you know, again, it's not specifically a street bike, although you could change tires out and get more street oriented tires if you're not really going to be riding in the dirt. And if you are not going to be riding a lot as far as the street, these tires are fine when you do want to get onto the street. Again, more of a street knobby. But you know, you could roost. You can kick up some roost with those. There's no doubt about it. Now, you see the battery tender lead. Every one of our bikes gets a 48-point checklist, so we're really trying to go over these as much as we possibly can so that when you get a bike from CycleHunters.com, it's as close as we can make it to a new bike as to what it was when it was new. You know, these are low mileage examples, really clean, serviced, oil filter, that's basic stuff that we're going over. You know, checking the charging systems, anything that we can check and make sure that It's within spec. We're going over this stuff so that when you get it, all you're doing is thumbing the starter and you're just going out to ride and enjoy the bike that you bought. And that's why you're getting it, is to go ride it. And we understand that. We really just want to make it as much of it as an enjoyable process as we can. So you do the checklist. So it's really there to ensure, even it's such a new bike, that it's done correctly and you're just jumping on it and you're riding it and you're enjoying it. We have aftermarket warranties available. If it's something that you wanted, we do have financing options available. We can deliver bikes in some cases, and we can ship them. So it's just a matter of what is it that we need to do to help accommodate you so something like that can be in your garage, staring back at you going, ride me, ride me. So if you're digging the 2022 KLR 650 from Kawasaki, give us a call, 717-273-1809. You can see the full list of inventory at www.cyclehunters.com, and you can email us at cyclehunters@gmail.com. Just drop us a line, let us know what you need. Thank you so much, everybody. Like and subscribe, share the videos, drop some comments. Do you have any of these bikes? What are your experiences with them? All the times that we go through these different bikes in the inventory, it's really great to see and hear what everybody else has, what they're riding, and what their likes are. Because, you know, look, two wheels on a motor, there's so many different ways that you can accomplish this, as you can see around the shop. Cruisers, adventure tours, sport style, standards, sport bikes. You know, the beautiful thing is if you want to ride, there is a bike for you. We just got to find out what specifically is going to make your smile the biggest and the most permanent. So until the next ride, happy riding.